It's time to give this man his flowers. George Karlaftis had a fantastic showcase against the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football. Not all of it showed up on the box score, but that's exactly what this is for. We are going to dive into his tape against those Washington Commanders and talk about what he was able to do, how he's been growing as a pass rusher. He only has 4.5 sacks on the season, but his impact has been felt, even though the Chiefs need another defensive end to help him out. Karlaftis is carrying a heavy load in this defense next to Chris Jones and really had a fantastic game against the Commanders. And I'm excited to show you guys what I found in his tape, because I think that I give a bad image of George Karlaftis for the most part, because he's not a player that I personally would have drafted, but he's a fantastic number 2 defensive end. If he was like the number 2 in Kansas City with his contract, I think we'd all feel really comfortable with him there. The effort's there, the physical nature is there. Honestly, his hand usage has gotten so much better, but the mental game has really taken its step forward. And that's what we're really going to focus on today in comparison with what he's been before, not just at Purdue, but earlier in his career at Kansas City. So if you guys are new here, this is RGR Football. Welcome in. My name is Daniel Harms, senior film analyst, and today's all about George Karlaftis, defensive end, entering, his 5th year in Kansas City. He got that extension in the offseason, and I'm excited about what I think he could be if the Chiefs really find a way to get that number 1 defensive end, because he rounds everything out. And please, if you're new to the channel, hit that sub button right now, and then allow me to earn a like as we get through the tape here, because this is exactly, I think, the kind of player we want to see in Kansas City, right? We want to see George Karlaftis kind of thriving. And what you're going to see down here at the bottom of your screen, he is next to Leo Chanel. Oh, man, I really wish I would stop hitting those buttons. He's down here next to Leo Chanel. In the run game, he's always been a good player, but the mental part, right? Just a little bit of a understanding where the ball is going, using his eyes, and able to track down the quarterback. 3-yard gain, but still, that's what you want to see in these situations. Honestly, it's a really cool design from the Commanders. They come out and 2 tight end personnel, so 12 personnel. They're going to take Zach Ertz. He's going to motion out this side and then come back and lead block. So they're running a quarterback keeper here, but they've got a little bit of a slant block here. And then they also have this tight end coming around the wide receiver to block out here. So you've got lots of movement pre-snap. You have lots of movement post-snap too, to try to align those blocks to the outside. And we like what George Karlaftis does here again, as he plays. There goes the motion. And what it does is it takes Leo Chanel away from that edge, right? They want to remove a player. And that's why I was like, this is a cool design. I want to show you guys, because this is something I think Cliff Kingsbury did well early on in the game, is that they tried to utilize Marcus Mariota, who's still a very good athlete at quarterback, in a lot of different ways. But Chris Jones, first and foremost, gets downhill across the face of this player. And then you've got Nick Bolton coming down. You've got Leo Chanel kind of waiting here. And so this is a, quarterback read option. They're going to take running back, goes up the middle here, and then that's where you see Marcus Mariota hold the football. He's still reading Karlaftis, so he's trying to kind of make sure that he can outrun him, right? He wants to see where he can get, but also he's seeing this here and he's seeing this here. So ideally, he wants to be able to follow his blocks and get right here, get in between those and get downhill. Now, this is again where Karlaftis and the effort comes through. They get a really nice beat job there from Leo Chanel, comes across, and then the fill from Brian Cook to come downhill and also help Karlaftis on the tackle. So in a foot race, Marcus Mariota beats out George Karlaftis, but he does have long enough arms. He does have the effort, as we've seen multiple times, to get down the line against some of those faster quarterbacks. So we've always seen the effort, but at the end of the day, this is exactly the kind of play that you want to see from Karlaftis, to be able to go forward and make that tackle there, help with Brian Cook in space. Another one here from Karlaftis from in the run defensive area. He's now, again, next to Leo Chanel. We've got another quarterback keeper, and he's going to recognize that immediately once again. But also, he uses his power. He's getting blocked by a tight end, so he's just going to kind of shove him aside while his eyes stay in the backfield. That's what I want to focus on here. Eyes, right? So first and foremost, he sees the football. Right here, he's going to peek behind, and he's going to see Marcus Mariota keeps that football. So his motion, right, he's going this way with the block, who's getting blocked down as well to go to the next level. Excuse me, he's trying to get blocked down to go to the next level here. Block on that. You've also got Leo Chanel out here creating that wide gap, right? He's making sure he stays with the running back there. He's keeping his responsibility where it needs to be. But Karlaftis throws that the tight end aside. And then when you have the puller come across, you got two guys on one player. And Karlaftis can then get downhill underneath, go make a tackle. Leo Chanel again doing the same thing in space. So in the run game, George Karlaftis has always been a power player. He can set the edge. His mental side, right, being able to see where the football is going, identify the run play, get around blocks, kind of push guys around. If you're being blocked by a tight end, he can throw them to the side and really get back there. That's always been a hallmark of his game, really saying see ya right there to Zach Ertz and throwing him off. I really appreciate that a part of his game. But one of the areas, coming out, he was never a very refined pass rusher. He's not the best athlete in the world, but I do think that his technique as a pass rusher has gotten a lot better, and he's using the long arm more effectively. Because when you are a pass rusher and you're power-based player, you have to extend, right? Whether it's a long arm, whether it's two arms, you have to be able to extend here. So the Commanders bring Deebo Samuel in motion. He's going to come around the formation here. And then George Karlaftis against Laramie Tunsil is going to come in here, put that long arm on him, and then make a count. What it does is when you can extend, you now can get your eyes around. So he's going to extend first, locate the football. Okay, play action. Marcus Mariota keeps the ball. I have the outside path here. I know that. He also understands he's not going to win the edge here against Laramie Tunsil because he's not the athlete to be able to do it. So he's going to stop and rotate back to the inside and use a little bit of that hand swipe down, just kind of bring the arm over, and he does get that quick win. The Chiefs are able to close on Deebo Samuel there for a 5-yard gain, so a modest gain. But again, we're talking about the technique because this is technically a win. The ball comes out quickly, but it's showing you what he's using and how he can build upon it and how he's going to build upon it later in this game. So right there, again, there's a long arm, locates, grabs that hand, right? Takes that right hand and he grabs like he's going to come through. That's another thing too, is that he moves the tackle back more outside, because what he's doing when he grabs right here with this hand, sorry, let me just kind of show you with that outside hand, he's taking his right hand. If you can kind of picture yourself in that situation, like he's going to grab that, take his left arm and rip under. That is something that George Karlaftis does a lot of, especially with the slap and rip going around the outside. That's how you win there. But instead, he's going to stop and then bring the arm over. That right hand is going to disconnect and go back over the other way inside. So right there, he stops and decelerates and gets down, and he's able to create that, right? He makes the tackle think he's going to go around and give him a little rip with the left arm. Instead, he stops and he brings the arm over back inside. That's good technique. That's understanding that you are in the situation you better leverage in that situation than the tackle does. And this is where he uses the long arm to win quickly and get pressure. But watch what he does. I posted this on Twitter, but I was really impressed by this mental acuity part. Now, Marcus Mariota is a good athlete. He gets outside. But what I want to focus on is here. Again, we've got a little bit of play action here. Marcus Mariota, again, reading here. So we're going to see this come around. And now it's just what I say by play action. It's much like the Chiefs do that, right? The running back comes through. He kind of gives a little fake. And this time, Marcus Mariota comes out and pumps like he's going to throw it to the flat. And Karlaftis, smartly enough, there he stops, understands, I'm going to now be patient, okay? First and foremost, rush lane integrity has been a problem for the Chiefs. So he doesn't just kind of close right here, because what happens if he does that? Marcus Mariota gets outside the pocket here, and then it's a much easier play for him to make in space. So he stops, and he's going to use that long arm and walk the tackle back right here. He just kind of extends right there. This is what we call, I mean, I don't know if I call it this because it's not like a technique in terms of something that everyone calls it, but it's being smart, right? You got eyes on the quarterback and he keeps him in the pocket from that rush this way. He takes Josh Connolly, he puts him in the backfield, and then just keeps extending that wall so that he does not have an easy release out to his right. He has to stay in the pocket, right? And now George Karlaftis gets off, and unfortunately, he makes the play because Menahue isn't off of his block yet, but he's still pushing the tackle into the lap. So he's able to kind of make that. But this is a smart play. And what he's able to show is that he's thinking while he's rushing, he's understanding the pass rush and lane integrity to be able to make sure that Marcus Mariota, at least before he closes, stays in the pocket, giving him a better chance at making a tackle and a sack in that situation. So all of that really comes through for Karlaftis, and I really appreciate that with how he's able to think on the move. And I want him to be able to close this, because this is what we just talked about. Excuse me, with that arm under to be able to create a win. He just doesn't have that cornering, right? He just can't get around the edge fast enough. He has to like stop his body. It's a good clean win, right? Here comes that arm. He drops it down. He goes underneath the arms or the hands of the tackle. And then look how far back he is. The line of scrimmage is like 11 yards away. So, like, we're talking about he's behind the line of scrimmage nearly 11 yards, which is tough to get for anybody. But he's got to come around here now and stop and then come back. So that's one of the things. It's not a Again, it's not a bad thing because you showcase the hand usage, you see how he can win. And he really took it to Josh Connolly in this game, a first-round pick for the Commanders, playing right tackle for him out of Oregon. The power, that's something that he really struggled with in college, Connolly, that is dealing and allowing guys into his chest. And right there, boom, nice quick strike. So he takes that arm and he just stabs it into the chest of Josh Connolly and puts him at a disadvantage right there. And then he takes that hand and he goes up underneath right there. Just a little stab and swipe. I like that move from George Karlaftis. And unfortunately, if he just had that ability to kind of sink his hips and dip underneath, like right here, just he'd be able to really close on that, make this more difficult. But what I appreciate more is that everyone on this play does a really nice job. The Chiefs had a nice little blitz coming up here with Nick Bolton and Chamari Connor. So Connor and Bolton are right here. They're going to do a little bit of a cross dog. Boom, boom. They're going to go this way. So going to create kind of a movement from that center to go pick your poison, right? He's going to come out this way. And they did a nice job of picking it up. So he comes around. He picks up the blitz from Chamari Connor. But it's fun, right? It's something different. Nick Bolton does a nice job of throwing off the timing, right? Getting his hands up. Connor gets back up and nearly gets his hands on the throw too. And if they were able to kind of throw off the timing, you probably see George Karlaftis get another sack there. And then Brian Cook doesn't get all the way with that interception. So there are lots of different things that I think that they're doing with the blitzes in the back end. On Twitter, I talked about also where we've seen the Chiefs run blitz more. So it's made their rush game more, their run defense a bit more effective. And then you have stuff like this where the Chiefs come out in a 3-down defensive line front with it's basically a 3-4 defensive line, and you got linebackers on the field coming out in a little bit of different situation. You've got Jaden Hicks on the field. You've got Chamari Connor lined up as more of a linebacker here in the nickel, but he's overhanging right there. So you have this 3-4 down lineman look with 2 overhang linebackers, and then you've got Nick Bolton here and Chamari Connor who's going to drop out. They're going to rotate in the back end a little bit. Christian Williams is going to go back to the middle, and then they're going to play a little bit of zone, right? So you've got a cover 3 look in the back end. George Karlaftis quickly beats the down block from the center and nearly gets home right there. And then they do a nice job of closing to the quarterback. So this is what I mean by that cover 3 shell look. You got Chris Williams out here. And I think Trent McDuffie is probably playing more man match. Okay, so he's turning to the outside, but you look at the opposite side and you've got zone here, you've got zone here, you've got zone here. So it's kind of like a man match. He's the only wide receiver on that side for Trent McDuffie. So he's going to be more of a man cover situation. And then he closes. That's why you got Roland Wass out here to make sure he doesn't get beat deep, and he still recovers very well. You got linebackers dropping into zone. So I think this is a really well-designed play where you can rotate, but also create some problems for the offense, which is exactly what they do. And then you get quick pressure. So with Karlaftis here playing inside, right, he's able to just win this way. He's going to be quicker than a lot of guards, a lot of centers. And you got Chris Jones lined up as a 0 right over that center. He's going to go inside, and then he's going to kind of throw off, right? So center's trying to get down here, but he has to go through Chris Jones to do it. He's not able to really do that. And then Karlaftis does, again, a nice job of kind of accelerating around there, using that hand coming up through, rip technique, and they just can't get there for the sack. Karlaftis probably should have had 3 or 4 sacks in this game. Like, that's how good he was. And I think that it's worth highlighting because they're going to need George Karlaftis to play not only his best football of his career this season, because there really is another pass rush. Right now there isn't more pass rush, but they have to show, he's got to keep showing that if they get somebody else in the room that can rush the passer, he can be that other guy. He can clean up, because that's what he's done. Look at the plays, the hustle plays that he's made in this game. A couple of almost sacks. If you get somebody on the opposite side that is forcing the quarterback to Karlaftis' side, he's going to get more cleanup sacks. Chris Jones is going to be better, where you can't just double Chris Jones and then, Karlaftis is going to win late, so we don't have to really worry about that. So just trying to put into the mix here is that he is playing at a high level for him. It's only 4.5 sacks. It's not great, but it's also indicative of, I think, what the Chiefs lack from a pass rush perspective. That other guy to help everybody out. And then this is just a heads up play, right? He sees the ball coming out quick. He again pushes Josh Connolly into the back, into the back further into the quarterback, back behind the line of scrimmage, and then he just kind of understands that they're trying to get the running back to the flat. They also chipped him quite a bit in this game too. I would say 3 or 4 times you see the running back go to chip. He doesn't make actual contact, so Karlaftis has those alarms going off in his head. This ball's coming out quick. Heady play again, just really quick reaction, locates that, gets his hand on it. And I'm going to tell you guys again that George Karlaftis was all up in Josh Connolly's just breadbasket all game long. Wins, power, speed off the edge. He did time up a couple of nice get-off plays to showcase that he can win that way too. And then he forced Connolly into a false start penalty in the fourth quarter because he was getting worked all game long. So really good stuff from George Karlaftis in this football game. And I want to really showcase where the effort is, because we all see it, right? We see every play that he makes. This is just a bad play from Nick Bolton, unfortunately, not getting out to the flat. You just got cover one. So you've got man coverage across the board from the Chiefs, and Nick Bolton just has to get out to the flat here to the running back. But what I want to really focus on is how Karlaftis feels the pressure or feels the chip, right? So he gets the running back off there. He goes back inside, and then he feels that block coming. He sees also at the same time that he's coming in this way, has eyes go right back to the quarterback who's coming outside the pocket. And that's where you see Karlaftis come off of that block and then spin around. Boom. So I really think that this is one of the games where he played probably his best football of the season. He's been really good against the run all year long. He's had some moments as a pass rusher, but I think this was a complete football game. Effort, technique, really showing you the mental side of it to be able to not only make an impact against the run, but showcasing it with that tip that we just saw two plays ago, and then the pass rush to consistently move the quarterback off his spot. And again, another time against just pushing Josh Connolly into the backfield. This one, he's just able to see, falls down. He still is able to grab the ankle of Marcus Mariota, but again, off the edge, right? Speed and power. So get off, boom, right into the chest, again, of Josh Connolly. He kind of gears up outside a little bit, goes through, and then pushes it back and disengages inside. If you can disengage inside when you have a body in front of you with a quarterback that's going to move up in the pocket, you're more likely to get a sack that way. We saw that multiple times from Karlaftis in this game, and that's really where I think his game is developed most. So he pass rush outside first, right? You're moving the tackle outside. One, that keeps the quarterback in the pocket, because if he now wants to run to the right, he's got to go all the way around that tackle. And it gives guys in the flat the opportunity, or in this case, this guy right here, a spy, the opportunity to now close to the flat on that quarterback. So he keeps that in front of him. It's really just a 3-man pass rush from the Chiefs with Leo Chanel as a spy. And then this is how you do it. This is just how you do it. And this is another one of those unique looks from the Chiefs where you've got 3 down linemen. Karlaftis is coming. Chris Jones is coming. Charles Menahue is coming. And then you've got a spy right here in Leo Chanel on this sack right here. I know that Mike Dana had a sack in this game too later in the football game on that 3rd down. The broadcast did a really good job of showcasing what the Chiefs did to cause Sam Cosmi to miscommunicate there. When you're bringing guys up to the line of scrimmage and dropping them out, causes miscommunication. So really nice job on the defense from there as well. But this is what you're looking for. Spy here, but you've got the attention of 2 of these guys. Chris Jones is being double teamed once again. So you've got Charles Omenihu on Bates, who is a very good blocker, and then your matchup, your one-on-one situation that you have to win is George Karlaftis against the rookie Josh Connolly. Power to the edge, boom, pushes him in the middle, and then just goes and cleans it up. So this is one of the complete package games from George Karlaftis, where you actually get to see where he excels. You do see some of the missteps in terms of where his athleticism leaves you wanting a little bit more, but you have to give the flowers to Karlaftis, probably the best defensive player on the field in this football game. I think the Chiefs did a great job showcasing him and then getting him in one-on-one situations against Josh Connolly, where he was able to, again, use his power, take advantage of. So hats off to Steve Spagnuolo, kind of mixing everything up and letting Karlaftis feast against that guy all night long. And it really didn't matter who it was. He was having an impact against the run. He was pushing guys into the backfield, whether it was Brandon Coleman, Laramie Tunsil, or Josh Connolly. He was able to win in a multitude of ways. So I hope you guys enjoyed this spotlight on George Karlaftis after their Week 8 victory against the Washington Commanders. That's the kind of effort you want to continue to see from everybody involved. Hopefully somebody can step up, or they bring somebody in to help out the pass rush, because Karlaftis and Chris Jones clearly cannot do it themselves. If you are new to the channel, please hit that sub button right now. We will have more content for you guys. It's a little bit of a shorter week with the Chiefs going to Buffalo on Sunday, but we will have a game plan of sorts for you guys coming up. We have more content, obviously, after the game on Sunday as well. Stick around for the Monday Q&A, because we know we missed one this past week with it being a Monday Night Football game. But enjoy the rest of your week, guys. If you have any questions, please hit me up on Twitter or leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.